All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. Nervanky, thank you for the switches for Crouton. I'm going to go ahead and redeem those right now. Hey, buddy, these are Nerd of Anarchy switches. There you go. There you go, yeah. Doc Trod, good to see you in the chat. Nervanky, a 130 stream streak. You know, if my OBS and my internet keep crashing, you may end up having more episode streak than episodes in existence. I'll be concerned when your streak exceeds the number of episodes. Currently 620 episodes. So one of the things I wanted to do today was start calibrating for Creator Roster, which is one of our community games. Maybe I'll go over the rules and stuff after the raid comes in from Dr. Dynastic. I know he's wrapping up his stream. But I think in what will become the new tradition, I think to test the new version of the game, I am going to run back the previous version's champion. So that would be Nerd of Anarchy. So this is the roster file that Nerd of Anarchy submitted for his regular Creator Roster Championship run. We have a few different versions. We've got Low Ball, Dead Ball, and Studs and Duds. So the regular version takes place in the most recent version where we have historical data, which is 2025. Last year was in 2024. Dead Ball takes place in 1907. I might change the year this year, maybe to like 1910 or 1911, just to add a little bit of variety. Low Ball is when we try to build the worst team possible. And I'm looking forward to doing that with the 2025 Rockies in play. That'll be fun. And then we've got Studs and Duds, which is you only get 6 legend level players, and the rest are all scrubs. And we did have a good discussion during the end of the last cycle about, because it seems like there's 2 different things that can happen. If you go a certain way, you increase your chances of having the most wins in the regular season. If you go a different way, it's harder to make the playoffs, but if you can get in, you have a better chance of winning the World Series. And so we did talk about like postseason performance being adding up to as many as like 10 wins for your regular season record. But now that I'm talking about it, we could just add your postseason wins to your regular season win total. And that could just be the what sets your win total, is the total wins. That might actually just be the simpler way to do it. For Studs and Duds at least. But yeah, so we're going to calibrate Creator Roster tonight. Eddie Bow and P Boom, welcome in. Good seeing you. So here's the roster file that the one in green is the one that Nerd of Anarchy used to win in OOTP 26. I think it was 138 wins. Let's zoom in a little bit more, see if you can. There we go. That's a little bit better. So the 2 in orange are the tied for second most wins. That was 134 wins. And then Nerd of Anarchy came along and set the record at 138, and that stood for the rest of the cycle. And, not a ton of similarities between the first and 2 second place runs. All right, so for example, Deadly Sports and Kindness 360, they each had at least 1 starting pitcher in their 4 legendary players, and Nerd of Anarchy had none. And in fact, Nerd of Anarchy entire rotation came at good or average level, which is kind of stunning considering how the pitcher generation, the quality of the pitchers declines faster as you go down levels than it does for the batters. Nobody can say this doesn't. That makes dollars. It makes so much sense. Yeah, it wasn't until I was like explaining what we've been talking about that I'm like, because what we were gonna do was like you get 1 point for winning the division series, 3 points for winning the league championship series, and then maybe like 6 points for winning the World Series, or some. But we were gonna have to figure out those numbers. But instead, you could just win 11 postseason games, and that would add up to as many as just about as many as 10 points. So, P-Boom, are you talking about the actual basketball March Madness or Dr. Dynastics March Madness? Because I think you were doing pretty well in Dr. Dynastics pool too. So yeah, we're gonna run Nerd Ranky's roster here, the green one, and we'll see how it does. Ideally, it'll come in around 120, 115 wins, because I want there to be enough runway for teams to improve over the course of the cycle. Now, during the beta, I did do some testing where I recreated an experiment I've done before where I do create a roster, but I only choose from one level all the position players, or all the players. So when it says all scrub, that means I had 26 groups of 5 scrub pools by position. So they're not all scrubs. Like the whole point is you're trying to find steals in those pools. So if you're lucky, you get like an average or good level player from time to time. And so that's what I did, but it was all scrub or all bench. And you can see what we were dealing with between 25 and 26 was a big jump in quality of the scrub level and bench level players. But that did seem to stabilize between 26 and 27. And it only seemed to affect the lower levels, right? The average and legend level players are still around the same quality. So, if this holds true, if this is a representative, then this run should be, in the 120s or so. Most times it takes a little RNG to have a championship run here. So if we assume Nerd of Anarchy had some player creation RNG and some in-season RNG, if this comes in around 120 or so, I think that'd be great. And it's not going to do well just because we're using Nerd of Anarchy's roster file. If that were the case, everyone would just use that file and try to catch him in regular creator roster, which is not what happened. Which I appreciate. Everyone has their own approach to it. Everyone, brings their own preferences to selecting players, right? Like even if Nerd of Anarchy High had the same pools of players, we might even pick different players. So we're gonna see how this run goes. So let's go ahead and set this up in the game. Do a new quick start. We've got a creator roster 27, the 2025 quick start. And this will be creator roster 27, franchise time machine. My first run, and it's a test. All my runs are tests. My runs never count towards the leaderboard. It just seems a little unfair to do that. So. me save the name of this file here. Okay. All right, now who did Nerd of Anarchy take over? That he took over Milwaukee. So we'll take over Milwaukee as well. All right, as always, even when the quick start, you have to update the mailbox settings. And the manager options have to be updated. Those do not carry over from a quick start for some reason. Also, one new thing we're going to do, which I need to actually make part of the quick start, is we're going to turn off the ability for the AI to make roster changes. Okay. Now that means they should not be taking players from their reserve rosters. And then the player themselves should not change because we have everything turned off. They could potentially change a player. Coaching, development, chemistry, personality, morale, all those things have been turned off. Injuries. And because injuries are turned off, no team should have to be making roster moves. So I think it's fine. I had not clicked that button before. I actually don't even know if it's available in 25 or in 26. But so that that might influence things too. We'll have to see. Now the one downside is this is a very small sample size. It's one run, and usually when we run our experiments, we run a 5 times long season to help iron out some of the small sample size effects. We're not going to have that benefit here, but it'll at least give us a sense of how is the new game running relative to 26. The reason I want to make this part of the quick save too is that I don't want to forget to do it. But I started this save already running a team. I don't want to do the quick start that way, so I'll do a separate session where we just update the quick start. In fact, let me make a note to myself to do that, by the way. Okay. Alright. So that's done. Now we can start creating... Oh, no. We have to delete out the roster for the Brewers. Alright. Let's go look again. All right, legend level. Let's scroll this over so it's a little bit closer to the. Look how many runs we have. That's a ton. There's EVC who took over the lead temporarily until Delhi took it over here. So now we can pretty easily see what picks are at what level here. All right, so we're gonna go with a left fielder, a shortstop, center fielder, and second base at legend level. And this is a community game, by the way. It's open to anyone who redeems channel points to play it. So, all right. So we'll go manager pull down menu, GM manager actions, sign a free agent. And we're going to create players. And again, it is left fielder to start with. Oh yeah, we're going to have the reroll for the first time this cycle too. So you can use one reroll where you get to generate a new set of 5 players in any given round. We're definitely going 80 power. I'm leaning towards going one of the 60-60 guys instead of messing with the low avoid K guys here. Which pretty much takes me to Mario Villanueva. Sergio Ponce is the other guy I would consider. His glove is even worse. I did consider Matt Dam, partly because of the name. But you get a little more BABIP, but it's at the expense of 15 fewer avoid K. But you get 70 defense, which is pretty great. But it's left field, so I'm okay taking Mario Villanueva here. I do want to get a... so I'm going to lock in Mario Villanueva, but I'm going to get a screenshot of Matt Dam's name. Alright, so we're going to take Mario Villanueva. Prunes! His nickname is Prunes. We've never seen that one before. That's amazing. Alright, we label all of our players so we can look back and say, oh, what level was that player created in, right? So you can see what were your legend level busts, what were your steals at the good or average level. What team was this? Oh, Milwaukee. Milwaukee. All right, next up is shortstop. Okay, a bunch more power I guys even at shortstop. Although there is a really interesting contact BABIP guy here at short. He is one of the top defenders. I kind of like Alex Hernandez except for the glove. I think it might be Jim Hunter here. I might go contact above average defense, and I might forego the 80 power guys. The other possibility is Alex Hernandez, who's a switch hitter. 75 power, 90 I. Again, that glove, though, is a little worrisome. All right. I'm going Jim Hunter. Yeah, Fletcher is tempting, too. The lefty bat I like. Let me think about this. I would get 30 power. But I'm giving up 15 BABIP, and I'm giving up 20 avoid K. I'm also getting 70. I'm getting 10 I. Yeah, Max Luffy 80, notorious for getting the lowest game scores with the highest win totals. All right, I think Nerdoreki sold me on Corey Fletcher. We're going to go Corey Fletcher here. To get 80 power with 50 avoid K is actually pretty good. I think I'm okay with that. I can also play a little third base, which is nice. Definitely more important for your bench level players, but still nice when your legend level players can play multiple spots. All right, next up is center field. Man, 80-80 is tempting, but that 45-40K is pretty rough. Let's see. Who's our top fielder? Our top fielders are Jameer Fields and James Piku. Piku? We're going all in with range with Fields. His arm is not as good as Piku's. He's also got more power and more I, with just 5 less avoid K. So I'm going to go Jameer Fields here. We're going to go, of the two top fielders, the best batter. Bob Radcliffe is the other one I would consider. We're only giving up 5 fielding. We're getting 5 power and 5 eye. We're getting 5 BABIP, but we're giving up 10 avoid K. I don't know. I think I just talked myself into taking Radcliffe. Yeah, I'm going to take Radcliffe. Bob Blink Radcliffe. Yeah, Fields was my original choice, but I like the bat of Radcliffe a little bit better. And then we're going to go second base. Oh, they really want me to bite on this low avoid K. 85 power, 90 eye, 35 avoid K. Flying WV, thank you for the Tier 3 subscription. The ongoing Tier 3 subscription. Tier 3 gets you 2 community games a month. And you get your channel points faster to redeem for additional community games or scritches for Crouton. OTR Pod, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. All right, so these are second basemen. We are going to be interested in turn double play here, as well as overall defense. A couple of elite base stealers. Perfecto is pretty tempting. Top BABIP, second best contact, lowest power, but best defense, top stealer. So we're gonna go Perfecto here. Still gonna have some punch with that 70 power. Pretty happy with our legend level picks. Fat Elvis is his nickname. Wow. Okay, I gotta find out whose real nickname was that in BREF. Fat Elvis. Oh, and I didn't realize it was Lance Berkman's nickname. That's funny. I had no idea. All right, Lance Berkman's nickname. Yeah, also, this guy's only 189 pounds, so he is just Elvis. We are not quite. We're doing the calibration tonight, and we have some experiments to start off the year. So we had some good experiments so far. We learned quite a bit about which maxed out batting attribute and which nerfed batting attribute help and hurt the most. I'll do when I told Dr. Dynastic when they rated, I'll give a quick recap of what we learned. Yeah, I'll give the recap today, but I think it's worth watching the VOD if you're interested in that stuff. All right, so that's it for the legend level. Next up, we've got star level, right field, first base, a closer. That's interesting. A closer, a relief pitcher even before a starting pitcher, and then third base. All right, so let's get ready to create those right fielders. Star level. Now, if it's like 20, 25, and 26, we should still get some really good players, but the variance is going to increase. And you can see we've got 4.5 stars in here now. But we're still getting... we're getting 3.5 star players now, but we're still getting 4.5 star players. So all these guys are decent fielders. That's actually, they're all very good fielders. All pretty flat profiles here. The 70 power is the highest. I think I might like this combo the best. 70 contact, 75 avoid K, 60 BABIP, 65 power, 70 I, and he's the top fielder. So I think Mel Mendoza is going to be my guy here. Super Mudman also thinks Mel Mendoza looks insane. Yeah, when they're above average and this high, I mean, when they're flat but this high, that's a pretty amazing profile. So we're going to go Mel Mendoza here. Dr. Dynastic, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. I promised Dr. Dynastic I'd show everybody from the Red Rock League raid some information that I think might help you make some player development decisions. So let me save this real quick, and then I will show you what I'm talking about. We'll get this player added to our team we're building tonight for a test run of Create a Roster, which is one of our community games that's open to everybody. All right, so let me show you what we did the last couple nights. 2 nights ago, or no, I take Wednesdays off, though. 3 nights ago on Tuesday, we did a test of batting attributes in OOTP27. It's episode 618 if you want to check out the VOD on this. And I'm going to save what we're doing right now, and I'm going to switch over to the file from that. And I'll show you what the results of that were. So in these experiments, I have created a completely average league where all the players are identical and completely major league average with totally average ratings. And none of the players are nerds, so I don't know what Baffle's talking about. So Bat Max episode. Okay, so here's what I'm pulling up here. Episode 618. So all the teams are neutral, right? They're all identical and the same. But then what I did is for each team, all the batters get boosted in one attribute. So on team power, every batter has 550 power, which equates to a 75 rating. Right, on the 20 to 80 scale, it's a 75 rating. Everyone on team Avoid K gets a 550 Avoid K rating. Everyone on team BABIP gets a 550 BABIP rating. And we run an 810 game season, which is the equivalent of 5 seasons in one season. And we do that to kind of get rid of all the small sample effects. And also, we don't look at wins and losses because there are a lot of things that can complicate wins and losses. We go straight to runs scored. And if you look at runs scored, right, one league had power, BABIP, Avoid K, and gap. The other had the same except gap was replaced by I. Because we just knew historically gap and I tend to not be as important. So when one attribute is boosted really high, power is way more important than all the other attributes. Power ended up creating about 25% more runs than the other teams. And gap matters the least. And what's different for past versions is I and Avoid K are now almost as important as BABIP. So if I were to put this in order for you, you can't have one attribute that's really good, power is the most important. And then BABIP has a slight lead on Avoid K and I. And then Gap is kind of in last place. Oh, are we in ads? Oh, we are in ads, aren't we? I have one of my alts going, so. Alright. Anyway, power, most important. We'll switch over to the other one, and hopefully ads will be over by the one. Alright, so let me switch over to the other save. Now in this save, we took these are batting attributes only flash, so we're only talking about BABIP, not PBABIP. Now in this other save, each team has one attribute nerfed down to 50. Right, so league average for most of these attributes is around 380, 400 on the 1 to 600 scale. We took one of them way down to 50. Now the first question I had was, is it going to be symmetrical? Right? If boosting power helps the most, is nerfing power going to hurt the most? And that was definitely not the case. Right? You can tell nerfing what attribute hurts the most by seeing who's in last place. Or who created the fewest runs, right? Because again, taking runs instead of wins eliminates some of the confounding factors. Right? Avoid K scored the fewest runs by far in both leagues. And these leagues don't have interleague play, so these are two separate experiments running at the same time. Right, nerfing Avoid K hurts by far the most. I think it's almost 40% fewer runs than nerfing I. And then BABIP and BABIP and Power are pretty close to each other in terms of runs scored. And nerfing I hurts the least. So, when it comes to something like, let's say, I don't know, an online league, if anyone were to ever come across an online league, if you have a pretty good player and you can boost something, right, you should boost power. If you have a pretty bad player or a player who has, some deficits, Avoid K is a deficit you want to address first. And then BABIP. Right, having a deficit in power doesn't hurt you as much as having a deficit in Avoid K or BABIP. And if you're already pretty good, then boosting power helps you a lot more than boosting gap. Right, boosting gap is not that helpful at all. Now, what that doesn't account for is how many points does it take to boost, how hard is it to boost. Right, so that's the decision you have to make, where you have to balance out the benefit of addressing a deficit in Avoid K or boosting power, and what does it cost you in terms of attempts or league currency to attempt those boosts. But if you're good, boost power. If your power is already as high as it can go, then BABIP has a slight advantage over Avoid K and I, but all three of those are pretty good investments. If you're bad at Avoid K, address that first, then address BABIP, right? All the things that go into contact. So anyway, those are a few takeaways I thought would be helpful for people who might be interested in something like Red Rock League, where you have to make decisions about, how to improve your player. So, Super Mindman, one thing I will caution you on, though, these results are very specific to 2025. One reason why Avoid K is so important in 2025 is because there are so many strikeouts in that run environment. If you take this back to even 2010, or especially if you take it back to like 1981, 1968, or if you take it way back to Dead Ball, gap will be way more important. So just be aware of that. It's very specific to like more modern era, where strikeouts are very high. But yeah, gap in modern era. And it's not modern era so much as it's the way the game calculates things. And I go through that in the VOD. So if you want to watch the VOD, you can learn a little bit more about why gap is not as important in modern era and why power is more important. A lot of it's the way the game calculates what happens in the game. And power has this weird thing where you get like a double benefit from boosting power. So, thank you, Flash. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was a quick recap. I promised Dr. Dynastic when he rated in, I'd give everyone, a few things that can help the Red Rock League players. So we'll do that. All right, so we're going to go back to what we're doing tonight, which is we're calibrating one of our community games, Create a Roster. Every time there's a new version of the game, something's changed, and we have to make sure that the rules we set for the game are still going to work. And I'll show you an example of what's happened before. These are teams I created using the Create a Roster rules. So I make myself 5 players at a time of every position level combination. I pick one, I delete the other 4, kind of like creating a Red Rock League player. And yeah, Dr. Hey, thank you. Get a good rest. I hope you enjoy the movie. I look forward to hearing about how it is. It looks pretty good. And, when I first heard about it, I was like, yeah, that sounds like a retread to me. But the more I've read and heard about it, it sounds like it's actually pretty good. So I hope you have a good time. So these aren't just scrub level players, right? We generate 5 scrub level players at a time. So I'm cherry picking the best out of 5 each time. And in OOTP27, the all scrub team won 11 games. In 26, that went up to 31. And in 27, in the beta, it was 25. So there's a big jump in the quality of scrub players from 25 to 26, and that's kind of stabilized. Similarly, bench level players, 34 wins in 25, 75 and 62 in OOTP 26 and 27. So again, bench level improved and has stabilized. I didn't do the same for average and legend, but you can see that those are pretty consistent between 25 and 26. So I could have done an all average team tonight, but that's not as interesting as just trying a test run, just reusing the 26 rules. Yeah, Fine, I think that the difference is small enough that it might be in the noise. I do think the 13 win difference for bench level is a little concerning. But concerning in a good way, because, I had to take away some average and good picks in 26. It'd be nice if I could return 1 or 2 of those picks. So I'm actually hoping that bench might have been nerfed a little bit, but we'll have to see. So let's go back to our Create a Roster test run. So anyway, I want to take that time out to help out some Red Rock League folks. So where's Create a Roster tests? There we go, right there. All right, so we just finished our first star level player, who's a right fielder. This is a roster file we're using. We're using Nerd of Anarchy's championship run from OOTP 26. And so next up is a star level first baseman. Nerd of Anarchy, who's in the chat, set the record with 138 wins in OOTP 26. So to create these players, you go to Manager pull down menu, GM and Manager Actions, sign a free agent, and then if you're in Commissioner mode, you'll have this Actions pull down menu. You can import historical players, which you use in some of our games, but tonight we're using create fictional players. And we're going to create a first baseman, average age, and star quality. And we're going to do 5 of these. I could put the leaderboards back up later. You are on one of the leaderboards in first or second. I think second place. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. If I can... Here, yeah, here are the leaderboards. I might have to resize them a little bit. Okay, so these are the leaderboards. Regular creator roster in OOTP26. Fewest wins in low ball. Yeah, in dead ball, you finished tied for second. 1 win behind Nerd of Anarchy, Flying WV. So Nerd of Anarchy finished with 109, and then you and here tied with 108 for the second most wins. So you will forever be on this leaderboard, Flying WV. All right, let's see. We're looking at first baseman, so I'm not really caring too much about defense, but they can all field, actually, which is a little surprising. We do want to make sure we get a good bat. 80 is the highest power. This is a pretty disappointing... Okay, I might use my reroll here. This is a new thing in 27. We get a reroll. I might use the reroll right here. I think 80 power, 55 contact, 65 eye is a little low for a first baseman in creator roster. All right, I'm going to do it. Second pick in star level, I'm using the reroll. I was hoping to save it for one of these starting pitcher groups, but I feel like we need a good first baseman here. I don't know, what is anyone in chat have any thoughts on whether or not I should use a reroll yet? I really would like to save it for so Nerd of Anarchy went pretty aggressive with starting pitchers at the good and average level. And I thought I might have to re-roll some average starting pitchers, but this is not a great star level first baseman. Yeah, Flying W says these are not great. Okay, we're going to re-roll. The first use of the re-roll in OOTP27. First baseman, average age, star quality. Ooh, we got a 90-80 guy and an 80-80 guy. But they both have bad avoid K. I'm tempted to go 90-80 and say, forget about the avoid K. You know what, though? We could go Mike Stanley and give up 10 power, but gain 15 avoid K and gain 10 contact. Oh, Find Me likes Dominguez. He likes the flat but really good profile. Peepoom likes Juan Dominguez too, huh? Interesting. Here I am choosing between Luna and Stanley, and you guys are all going Juan Dominguez on me. I mean, I did just get done talking about how bad avoid K is. I know, I just said that. I did just say that, and now I'm talking about taking Alberto Luna. I do think Dominguez, though, looks a lot like the batters we just passed on, too. Even though that is a sunk cost, I really shouldn't factor that in. I think Stanley's like maybe Stanley's kind of like the middle ground between Dominguez. Okay, so compared to Dominguez, we would get 10 more power and 15 more I, and 5 more BABIP, and we'd give up 15 avoid K. That seems like a good trade to me. I think that's worth trading the the avoid K for that much power and I. So we're going to go Stanley. But you guys did a good job of talking me out of Luna using my own words. Prof, that's a pretty good nickname. Yeah, I mean, we're getting what we asked for, right? Power I Babip. Let's see how splitty he is. Oh, nice. He's not that splitty at all. That's really nice. You can easily play him versus lefties without any problem. That's nice. Okay, that was worth the reroll. That was pretty good. First reroll of 27. This is a new thing we added this cycle. I'm going to show outfield arm for dead ball. I don't think necessarily for regular. For dead ball, we're going to show gap, outfield arm, and what else? There was something else. When we get to dead ball, I'll take your input on what attributes to show. All right, so that was first base. Now we're going to go closer. We've got no rerolls left. Oh, Flash, that just means I get to delete the 5 choices and do another player generation of 5 players. Oh, error. Error in dead ball is the other one we're going to show, because error is very important in dead ball. Thank you for the reminder there. All right, so what are we doing? Closer. It's so funny how we've gone 2 cycles now without a reroll, and now that I've used my reroll, I feel very vulnerable. Even though we've never had rerolls before. Now that I've used it, I'm like, I don't have any more left. Alright, here are our closers. Yeah, we're still getting, I think it's got to be Chris Crosby. Above average control, top home run suppression, top PBABIP, top stuff. This is basically a legend level closer at the star level. I think, finally, we'll just start with the 1 reroll anytime during the game this cycle, and then we'll see how that goes. Parky is his nickname. We might even decide that, like, maybe 1 reroll is too many, and we go back to no rerolls. We'll have to see. The other thing I considered before the reroll was, but you would decide before choosing, is in 1 round, you can generate 10 players instead of 5. But you'd have to call it before you go. So it's like whatever you think like the most pivotal pick is, you would probably want to use your 10 spot for that one. All right, and then third base is the next one. And this is the last star level player. Got some decent power numbers here. Everyone's got good contact BABIP and avoid K. The 2 best fielders are Morales and Nielsen. I think the best overall bat here best offense-defense combination might be Morales. Morelos, not Morales. Yes, Flash. Maybe I'll even decide per game. Like, if Flying W is being really nice to me, maybe I'll say, tonight you get 2 rerolls. I do like this Axel Smith combo too, the 70 power with the 60 contact. But I think Morelos' combination of offense defense is going to take it here. We are giving up 20 power, but we're getting 30 I and 15 avoid K and 10 contact. So I think it's Morelos here. Cactus, that's a cool nickname. All right, so our star level picks are done. And we're now going down to the good level. This is where Nerd first started going with starting pitchers. So all 3 good level picks are going to be starting pitchers. All right, these are all going to be very important rounds here. Okay, so look, flat might seem bad, but flat and above average actually plays very well. So all of these pitchers, other than maybe Nakamura, are going to be pretty good options here. And the one that's most above average is Kurt Box. Above average control, 55 P BABIP. Tied with everyone but Nakamura on stuff. Tied with everyone but Nakamura. Or tied with everyone except Jim Chill on home run suppression. Pretty good stamina. A little skewed towards righties on the split. Yeah, Jim Chill. There's Kurt Box and Jim Chill. Cody Wright also, as a lefty, is also flat and has the best stamina. But I think I'm going to go with the above average P BABIP control combination here. I am a little worried about the, let's screenshot Jim Chill while we got him. Pretty awesome name. But we're going to go Kurt Box here. I am also a little worried about passing up on a lefty like Cody Wright, but you know, 10 stamina and 35 hold might be worth 5 control. Okay. All right. Flying W. Oh, now okay, but P Boom says he agrees with Kurt Box. This is a tough choice. I think the stamina and hold are going to be worth it. I'm going to go Cody Wright. And the lack of split on Cody Wright I like too. Well, all of them were tied for HRA except for Jim Chill. So that was out of the equation. And we're going to be testing pitching attributes tonight. So we'll see if our devotion to HRA still holds true in OTP27. All right, we got 2 more starting pitchers at this level. Okay, so Salcido and Ehrlich got my attention immediately. Because they are above average stuff and still have control. Ehrlich is a lefty. We just took a lefty, so I might go Salcido here. We're basically giving up 5 stuff for 5 control. The stamina and hold are the same. Yeah, I just worry about going in with 2 lefties, and then if a third lefty comes up, I don't know, Ehrlich is pretty good. 5 stuff for 5 control. Now, you know what? We'll go Salcedo, go lefty-righty, and then I like that Salcedo is also not splitty at all. Not that Ehrlich is super splitty, but we'll go lefty-righty. Oh, sorry, these are good level. I think I have to correct the last one too. Goo, not goo level. Good level. Our other starting pitcher is also good level. So I need to correct that. All right, third and final starter at the good level. So far, we've gotten lucky with these starting pitchers. So I believe Nerd of Anarchy's thesis with this particular roster file was, if the offense is good enough, then good and average level pitchers are good enough. Oh, 80 control god, 60 HRA, 35 stuff. I gotta try this guy out. I gotta see what happens when we take this guy. Adam Campbell. Stamina is still pretty good. Hold is not terrible. The stuff is awful. But 60 HRA and 80 control, I think is worth trying out. Mike Brown would be the other guy I would take, but I think we got to try out Adam Campbell here. Tonkmato back in the stream, too. Good seeing you, Tonkmato. Oh, Crouton's coughing over there. You right, buddy? I'm on before you fall asleep. Yeah, I know. Okay, we're next going to the average level, a catcher, and then the rest of the rotation. Vladimir, thank you for the scritches for Crouton. Let me go ahead and give you a chance to check out his cough, too. You all right, buddy? We all heard you coughing over here. You all right? Yeah, there you go. Why are you way over there today? Usually, oh, maybe because it's daytime. He doesn't realize it's streaming time. All right, so we'll go catcher. I do think, though, that approach, though, is probably very game RNG dependent. And actually, these two average level starting pitchers worry me a lot. Just the player creation RNG. But we'll get our catcher first. And we got some power. We got some good defensive catchers here, which is nice. We can go arm down here. We got 3 really good arm options. We've got 1 good blocking option. We're not going to go power eye here because I think the blocking is too low. Caballero's got a nice flat positive profile, which I like from a batting perspective. The best defender here is probably Mike Metz. Come on, his name is Mike Metz. His arm is too bad, though. I think it's Soto or Caballero. And Soto has the better arm than Caballero. Caballero's got the better bat, so I think we're going to go Soto. Flying W also leading Soto. Flash's first biggest takeaway from the first 2 weeks in 27 base game, don't run to the outfielders. Yeah, you know, that's also something we test once in a while. I think we tested in 25, but not in 26. Oh, you learned that watching the WBC? Man, the WBC was a fun watch. He's lowest in gap, which we've already identified is not as important to have boosted. So not bad for an average level catcher, I'm going to say. All right, 2 starting pitchers. These are the ones I'm worried about. This is where I wanted to save that reroll for. You had 4 guys thrown out at home plate in 1 game. That's insane. Wow. That's crazy. All right, here we go. No rerolls. Got a 70 bunter. Oh, the HRAs here are pretty rough. I think you got to go Matt Houston. Top stamina, too. Not terrible, but I'll be very happy as if he's our number 5 guy. It'll be rough going if he's our number 4 guy. Now the question is, with that group, would I have used a reroll? Let's see what happens in the next group. Because he was not terrible, so, but he was not a player I would want in the rotation even at average level. Yeah, this pool is about as good or bad as the last pool, I suppose. I'm probably going to go with the 50 HRA, the top HRA, top BABIP guy here. The 40 stuff is concerning, but I think he's the best option here. And I do think this is our 5 starter. So yeah, I don't love these guys. I am thinking Santiago. 10 more stuff for 5 less HRA. That's a tough trade. We're also giving up quite a bit of hold. I think the 10 extra stuff could erase some of the problems that could come from 5 fewer HRA. Yeah, the holding runners the stolen bases are down though in 27 compared to 26. So we're gonna roll with Santos Santiago here. We're gonna gamble that the stuff is gonna be worth it. That's awful hold runners though. Now that I've taken him, I'm kind of regretting it. 20's bad, even if stolen bases are down in OTP 27. They're down a lot though in OTP 27. And we've tested that experimentally, so we know they're down. All right, so we should have 16 players now. No, we have 14. Why do we only have 14? Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, no, 14. Yeah, 14. And then 6 bench and 6 scrub. Yeah, P-Boom, when we did our MLB 10x season runs, the stolen base numbers were... It's not that they're down, that they're way closer to real life. when we sim 23. So we sim 2023 in OTP 25, 26, and 27. And 27 was the only one that was close to the real life stolen base totals. 25 and 26 were almost double the real life stolen base totals from 2023. So there's a big correction in the stolen base totals. All right, so for bench, we're going bullpen here. We've got a closer, a relief pitcher, 2 more closers, a relief pitcher, and a closer. So we're really riding that 1 star level closer, because the rest of our relief pitchers are gonna suck, unless we get lucky here. And I think Nerdaraki did get lucky when I think he had a couple of steals in the bullpen here at this level. All right, so first up is a closer. Bench level closers are pretty rough. The controls are the big problem here. You had Ellie bat 320 but steal 10 bases. That's wild. Alright, so we're just not going to look at Perez, even though he has the highest stuff. Well, actually, maybe we will look at Perez. He got the highest stuff and the highest PBAP, but that 30 home run suppression is pretty wretched, though. Nah, we're going to go Kevin James here, right down the middle. Yeah, the 30 home run suppression concerns me, though. I think Kevin James, for 5 less stuff and 5 less BABIP, we get 10 more home run suppression. I think we're going to take that. Oh, these are not even average. These are bench now. All right, that was a closer. Then we have a relief pitcher. All right, now here we're going to primarily look at these 40 HRA guys, and I think it's Matt Brown. Because I'm taking 5 stuff and giving a 5 control, but I'm also getting 15 hold. So we'll go Matt Brown. It's stuff and PBABIP. Sorry, it's stuff. If I'm getting 5 stuff and 5 PBABIP for the 5 control. So that's another experiment I'm going to run to show people that the fly ball, ground ball is already baked into the HRA calculation. And at least in past versions of OOTP, if you're looking at the ratings, then fly ball, ground ball doesn't matter as much because it's already baked in. But no one seems to believe that. So we're going to run an experiment to see if it's still true. It used to be true in older versions of OOTP. But part of the reason I run these experiments is to just prove it to myself, too, because I could be wrong. Especially as the game changes every cycle. I could become wrong. So closer, relief pitcher, and then 2 closers now. I'm going 50 control. I'm not even looking at the rest. We're going to take the 50 control and just say thank you. All right, then we have another closer here. What is this spreadsheet I keep referring to and why? We're test running a version of a community game I've created called Create a Roster. And the spreadsheet is used for the contestant to enter in their choices for position and position and level combination, so that we know when to pick when to generate certain types of players. Did I just do the 2 closers in a row just now, or not? I lost my train of thought here. Okay, what was Max Houston? Max Houston must have been average level. So let's correct that first. Yeah, average starting pitcher. And then, so that's now corrected. And I was looking to see closer. Okay, we have one more closer coming here. Oh yeah, no problem, Michael. If you have any other questions, let me know. So we do a combination here. We do experiments to test the base game to better understand how it works. We play a bunch of community games, and this is we're preparing for one of the community games for this cycle for OOTP27. And then I do a bunch of theme simulations. Like on Father's Day, I'll have a team of the best father-son duos that can form a complete roster. And I've run it. This will be the 3rd year in a row I'm running it, but this will be the first year we're running it since OOTP gave us a single season import instead of a 3-year blended import. So I'm really looking forward to doing that one again. Yeah, these bullpen guys are the ones who are good. Hopefully the AI will be leveraging them a lot. But that's putting a lot of faith in the AI. All right, this is the 2nd consecutive closer. That's where we are right now. Okay, the controls are back to being pretty rough. All the P-BABIPs are the same. So we'll look at the 35 control guys first. I think the 30 HRA is pretty rough here. So it's either Solorzano or Chavira. It's basically trading off 5 stuff for 5 control. Except Solorzano has more stamina and hold. So I think we're going to go Solorzano here. I think there's too many spots where Solorzano has a little advantage. So yeah, we're going to go Juan. If you have something to completely break a bullpen and avoid pitching guys that are bad. Like a dumb AI override. Yeah, I mean, part of why I don't let people, like, there are plenty of times when I've played this where I just want to send a relief pitcher to the reserve so they don't get used. So the AI doesn't use them. And then, what's next? So close relief pitcher, 2 closers, relief pitcher, closer. I haven't done, I don't do multi-season saves, so I don't do drafts. So I would not see what you're talking about there, Super Mudman. But you should talk to the people who do multi-season saves, like Ripley the Oriole, Ezra Denny. They may have seen what you're talking about. Here, let me give them some shout-outs for you. Ripley the Oriole in particular, he has more of an experimental take towards the base game like I do, but he does lots of multi-season saves. And he goes for many seasons. So he will see if there is a shift in the quality of the draft classes. So I think Ripley would be a good one for you to check out and ask if Ripley's seeing that or not. Oh, now we're playing with the 25 controls. That's not great. But we have a couple of 40 controls to make up for it. I think it's Tris Chandler. We're going to give up some bombs, but he's got the stuff. He's got the control. Oh, you mean they're 5-star potential, but they're already 2.5-star in the draft pool. Wow. Yeah, that does seem like an increase because you're right. Usually at the draft they're not that close to MLB ready. But yeah, Ripley would know. He would have seen a lot more iterations to be able to tell you if he's seeing a pattern or not. And he's also very like analytically minded, even though his stream is like has a wild style to it. Like he is very smart and very analytical, and so he would probably have noticed that if it's a thing. All right, and then we have one more closer, and I think that should bring us to 20 players. Yep. Okay, so P Boom's seen what you're talking about too. Cavicom, thank you for the raid. Cavicom Sexy Wrestling Company raiding in. Thank you so much for the raid. If you are not already following Cavicom, I implore you. I might be on a cooldown here. Follow Cavicom immediately. Not only every Sunday will you get the best OOTP coverage of OOTP playoffs, but you can also watch him play Civ, Sexy Wrestling Company. Anything he does is fun to watch, and his chat is super entertaining too. So, but on Saturdays, he does playoff coverage for all of the versions of OTP Perfect Team that are still running. So we still have a couple more months of PT25. He'll be covering PT26 for another year, and PT27. Any of his teams that are in the playoffs, he will follow them through the playoffs, and it is super fun. So definitely check him out, follow, and join in the fun on Sunday mornings. And also, he debuted my new wrestler in his Sexy Wrestling Company, and he looks amazing. all the wrestlers I saw debut today look great. So Cavicom did a great job generating those wrestlers. All right, I'm gonna go Mario Villegas. We're gonna go right-handed. They're all right-handed. Top BABIP, top HRA, top control. We're gonna give up a little bit of stuff, but sorry. When the group is terrible, you do the best you can. We're gonna take Mario Villegas. Go ahead and add him to the team. And yeah, so for the Raiders, I'll put up the title screen in a second. We're calibrating one of my community games for the new version of OOTP27, and just making sure I don't have to make any changes to keep it kind of fair and interesting. And yeah, so we are in our second to last level of player creation. So we started with 4 legend level players, 4 star level players, 3 good, 3 average. We just finished 6 bench level, and we're going to do our last 6 scrub level players. And we're using the roster file that Nerd of Anarchy used to win create a roster in OTP26 with 138 wins. And we're just going to see, where does this team come out with the new player creation engine, the new game engine? And do we need to make any adjustments for OTP27? So this is all bench backup players. Scrub level catcher, shortstop, center field, third, second, and left. So at this point, we really can't hurt the team, but we could do some things that could help the team quite a bit if we can get some steals here. I also don't think Nardavanki had a built-in DH selected or identified, so we'll be looking for a bat here that's strong enough to be a DH as well. Now, one thing we learned from low ball creator roster, which is when we try to build the worst team possible, the AI will not DH your backup catcher. So this catcher will not be an option for DH. But we do need a good backup catcher because catchers need the most rest. Usually there's at least a good defensive option available, even a scrub level. Yeah, there's 355 defense catchers here, 260+ arms, so these are definitely decent pools of players. The BABIPs are all terrible, so none of these guys can hit. These are noodle bats all the way across. The highest BABIP is a 25. That's gross. These bats are gross. These are horrible bats. Some of the worst bats I've seen in a collection of 5. Yeah, for low ball, this would be an outstanding group of players. Flying WVs still views the world through a low ball lens, apparently. I think the best combination of defense and not terrible bat. Oh, man. It's tough with this group. I think it's Jose Moreno. You got to understand, though, 35 contact is like an 80 hitter. 90, maybe an 090 hitter. Maybe a 100 hitter. Yeah, they're most more likely to get hit by a pitch. That's true than getting a hit. That might be right. God, this is a terrible offensive profile. But the defense is pretty good, so. Sorry, this is scrub level. You know, maybe the scrubs have been nerfed a little bit. It was more likely seeming that the bench level might have been nerfed, but okay, shortstop. Well, the problem was in OT25, the scrubs were not major league level scrubs. They were like college or minor league level scrubs. But we're asking for major league players, so there was kind of a disconnect there. Yeah, there's these guys with their defenses and the bats are terrible here. The best bat is Tony Santillan, and his defense is a 30. But we're going to take him. Hopefully the backup second baseman can play some shortstop, because this guy cannot. Okay, he can stand in 3 different positions at least. Yeah, I think the greatest example is Smiley Face Jane in OOTP27 had a shortstop in low ball hit 089. Right? Nowhere in Major League Baseball is anyone going to make a roster hitting 089. Right, but this guy was generated in scrub level. And so I was actually quite fond of the move to boost scrub level a little bit in OOTP26. It meant we had to change some of our game rules, but I was in favor of doing that versus having like actual major league level scrubs instead of like baseball scrubs, which is what we were getting. Well, you would think they'd have one or the other, right, Super Mudman? Like, they'd either be able to hit or field or do something that would keep them in the majors. And that's what we started to get in OOTP26. I'm worried now that has slipped a little bit here in OOTP27.
Why do you keep following me around?
Right, because you've also got guys who can hit bombs but hit, 180. So, but they do something that keeps them in the bigs. Skep, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. It's nice seeing people I see in other chats finding their way to our stream. Okay, so yeah, these are 2 definitely like sub-major league level scrubs we've seen so far. even the backup catchers, like in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of backup catchers who hit like 110, 120. This guy didn't do that, even, our backup catcher. Okay, next up is a center fielder. All right, we do have one decent bat here in Gabe Hill. His defense is a 40. We have a 50 defender here. I think we got to go with the bat here and take Gabe Hill. Left-handed bat off the bench is nice. 40 defense is bad, but it's not terrible. He has the range, he just has no arm. And I'll take that in center field. It's not like we're asking him to back up right field. Or are we? We might be. Yeah, I think we have to take whatever we need to get this bat. Yeah, he's going to be a decent left fielder, 55 in left, 45 when trained up and right. The arm is terrible, but this bat is actually not scrub level, so we'll take that. Because what was he? He's got 50 contact. That's like a 245 hitter. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did mute myself because I think I was coughing. Did I mute myself when I was telling Perry PHX about the base game and how awesome it is? Was that muted too? Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying, I'm a huge fan of the base game, and I've been playing the base game for decades. I only started playing Perfect Team at the end of PT24, and as much as I like Perfect Team, it's awesome. The base game is still. I mean, to me, the base game is the most incredible thing in sports gaming I've come across, right? It's got the entire encyclopedia of baseball history. Every player, every season is available. You can import them across seasons. You can edit players. You can make your own players like we're doing today. Um, you can clone players. It's super fun. Oh, so you only played base and then you went to Max Stream and started playing Perfect Team? Yeah, Perfect Team is super addictive. I got hooked on Perfect Team by watching Laptop Pound. In fact, let's give Lap a shout out. Okay, OTP the last you had, you bought it 26 late in cycle. Yeah, I used to buy OTP every 2 or 3 years. And then once I discovered Perfect Team, I bought it every year. So it's doing, I'm sure, what OTP hoped it would do, which is, creating more repeat purchase. MCJ Feather pulled a WBC 98 Trey Turner from a Twitchback. Congrats, that's a good pull. Alright, these are also not great choices here. We do have one power guy, but he's got 25 avoid K. You know what? At this level at Scrub, I'll take 60 power and 55 BABIP. And we'll put up with the 25 avoid K. He's got no range, but he's got a good arm at third, so we'll take that. Oh, no, that's outfield arm. He's got no range and he can't turn double plays, but third basemen aren't doing the turn, so that's okay. But the fact that his defense is a 30 means his error and his arm are even worse. I gotta take the power BABIP combo here though. There's nothing else to take. I don't know why my experiment didn't show this, but these scrub players are looking terrible. I did a version of this where I just do 26 rounds of 5 scrub players. And that team won 26 games. The OOTP27 version won 31 games. So, and I didn't feel this gross after doing all those scrub level choices. So I don't know if something that was in the beta. I don't know if something changed from the beta to the launch version, but these are gross. Look, I didn't even add him to the team because he's so gross. I just completely spaced on adding to the team because these player pools are so disgusting. These hot garbage created players here. Okay, next up is a second baseman. I mean, that last guy is what passes for a steal in this batch, and he had 25 avoid K. So, all right, 50 BABIP, 55 power, again, 30 avoid K. But he's also the top defender. He can't turn a double play, though. He's a second baseman who can't turn a double play. Yeah, I think we're going to go Mike Patrick. Yeah, Super Bugman, if I find anything, I'll let you know, but you should drop in on Ripley's stream. I think Ripley streams tomorrow, and he streams way earlier than I do. I usually stream at 10 p.m. Pacific time. His stream is a much more reasonable hour. And so you should pop in and ask Ripley if he's seen that. He's probably several seasons into OOTP27 by now, so he may have already noticed that. Oh, he hasn't started a base game yet? Oh, I didn't realize that. Well, then, put the idea in his head so he keeps an eye out for it. All right, left field. Yeah, because I only do single season sims for the most part. I'm never going to see the draft classes. I mean, no one's got power in this room. What the heck is going on here? I guess it's Ryan Brown. Second best glove, best bat. Yeah, he's your best bet, though, to find that out, especially once he gets going. I am a Back to the Future fan. Yeah, a lot of the collateral when I first started streaming was like Back to the Future related. Yeah, so this is the last guy. We're just going to add him to the team, and I think we're done. I make sure I labeled everybody and make sure we have enough players. "26 players. Is everyone labeled?" Yep, everyone's labeled. Amazingly, I did not make any huge mistakes. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie franchise for sure. I like the little details like, Twin Pines Mall gets renamed Lone Pine Mall, and just stuff like that is really really fun to look for when you watch the movie. All right, let's go ahead and save this. And then we'll go through our usual. We'll look at the pitching staff first. And again, we're up to we're at the mercy of the AI here. The only thing we get to change is that the AI replaces a starter with a relief pitcher. We get to replace the starter, but that didn't happen here. We usually save the quick start after everything's set up, Nerd of Anarchy. So after the pitching staff and. All right, so Salcido is the number one. The AI put Salcido as the number one. Okay, now a lot of times the AI does not like this Adam Campbell profile, but they have Adam Campbell as the number two. Cody Wright is the number three, which I think I agree with. And then it went Santiago Houston. Okay, we're going to go highest rested. We're going to try to stay away from Santiago Houston as much as we can. Yeah, it doesn't. That's why I'm surprised it went Campbell in the number two spot. And the bullpen has got Crosby as the closer. I wish you would use Stopper a little bit more, especially when you've got a stud like Crosby, but at least he's the closer. James and Brown. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's not a lot we can do here. I don't have a lot of qualms with what the AI did. Let's check out our position coverage. That's always a concern. Two catchers. We've got multiple players in every spot, so that's good. Second base and center field are often issues, but they're covered there. And then we'll sort by overall rating, and then we'll have the AI do its thing. Who's DHing? Valdivius. The 25 avoid K guy is our DH. Amazing. Now, look, since this isn't competitive, I'm going to jump into editor here and see what that stat line is projected to. That projects to a 215 average and 19 home runs and 204 strikeouts. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Fantastic. Yeah, the AI's gotten better and better the last two versions of, moving players up and down the lineup, whether it's VR or VL, using Stopper. I would like to see it use Stopper a bit more, but using Stopper. Why a legend level second baseman over third base? Oh, I see. You're asking Nerd of Anarchy. You're asking about this. So yeah, this lineup looks pretty good. AI did a decent job, I think. Never a good sign when your DH is batting ninth. Nerd of Anarchy, if you're listening to the stream and you're able to, Super Mudman. Oh, there you go. So Super Mudman, EVC and NYC2, who also set the record early in the cycle, also went legend level second base. And I think his rationale was like a lot of people take shortstop. For him, second base is more important because of the turn double play. And so he went legend level second baseman as well. All right, then we're going to go strategy. We don't have a ton of base steal. We have this 180 stolen base guy. So we're going to go sabermetric. Basically trying to minimize the amount of outs we make that are unnecessary. Maybe you get a negative 200 game score because you consider shortstop and second base to be important. All right, so I think we're done. So now we can go ahead and save this. Now, normally this is where we would finalize the pack giveaway guesses, but we won't have packs to give away until Monday. So starting Monday, we'll be back to our normal routine of guessing the outcomes of these simulations, and 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. Always a good time. Oh, Super Monday, thank you for the follow. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you again in some of our streams. I stream 4 p.m. Pacific time on Fridays, and then most other nights, including tonight, I stream also at 10 p.m. Pacific time. I know most people can't make it to that time, which is why I added this Friday afternoon stream. It fits my schedule for the most part, and it lets me reach an audience that I normally don't get to reach. So, we find out important stuff like the impact of boosting power or nerfing Avoid K, as we did the last couple nights. The Friday afternoon gives me a chance to share it with more people who might benefit from it. And, doing this on stream hopefully gets people interested in playing Create a Roster themselves. All right, I'm going to run a 3-minute ad break so I can go refill my water and hit the restroom, and then we'll come back and we'll start the sim. Oh, I almost raided out by mistake. That would have been bad. And also, this means we won't get interrupted during the sim, because it'll postpone ads for another hour. Hey, Max, are you still in the chat, by the way? I had a question for you. So, I think you said you did an all scrub experiment and you won 8 games. 9 games. Okay, because when I did my all scrub experiment, I won 25. I was in the beta. Were you in the beta or were you in the live version of the game? You were in the beta too. Okay, that's weird because my beta team won 25 games. And it didn't seem this gross when I was generating the players. But then you said you won 9 games. Like, that's disgusting. All right, it was 2 patches before me, but like this seems like it's more back in like when you were doing, because this seems like, oh, you didn't choose players. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes a pretty big difference, but not when the pools are this bad. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this table that I was showing earlier, this comes from, I do this the creator roster way, where I do 5 at a time and I choose one. So I'm still cherry picking a little bit, whereas you just did 26 scrubs. Okay. Yes, Super Mudman. I was actually very surprised that Nerd of Anarchy was able to win without designating a DH. Like most teams, especially the ones going offense first, they'll take like 2 first basemen or they'll take like 2 right fielders at the higher levels trying to generate a DH. So they'll go 9 batters instead of 8. So I'm really surprised that Nervaker was able to win 138 with, especially like needing offense because his starting pitcher was all good and average. He didn't designate, like set aside a DH. No, like everything's up to the AI to kind of, like that's the great equalizer is like partly to keep the stream length reasonable. Like we let the AI make a lot of decisions after the player creation. But yeah, but like Nerve didn't take 2 first basemen or 2 right fielders or, make any kind of, clear move towards setting aside a DH and still won 138, which is amazing. That is true. Max did generate a scrub level all-star. Max, didn't you also generate a low ball triple crown winner? That's the most amazing thing of all. Is playing low ball and generating a triple crown winner is amazing. I mean, to me, that's your crowning achievement. That's the incredible part. Drop down the actions. What do you want to see? No, every once in a while, in the scrub pool, you'll get like a player that's much better than scrub level. And so, usually during the player generation, we can identify like, oh, this guy's a steal. All right, we can't do a pack giveaway yet, but let's go and we'll do a channel point wager. Oh, I never chose the outcome for last night's. Nerfed Eye scored the most runs last night. So I think I won my own channel points last night. Let's see. Yeah, Nerd of Anarchy also won some points too. My alt won the points as well. All right, so let's do a channel point prediction. How many games will this team win? All right, and keep in mind, in OOTP27, using this roster file, but of course, different player creation RNG, there'll be different game RNG. I think it's clear from some of the discussion that Nerd of Anarchy would have picked different players. as well. But this same roster file won 138 in OOTP26. So we'll go under 100, 100 to 110, or 100 to 109, 110 to 119, 120 to 129, 130 to 139, and 140 plus. You can wager however many channel points you want. They're not worth anything other than you can redeem them to play community games, or you can give Crouton. Might give my dog Crouton stretches. Let's see. I'm gonna guess this. Your bronze tier tournaments are come in second in like 5 of. Are they like quick tournaments, or I mean, coming in second in that many tournaments is good no matter what. But if you're getting that far and just not winning, then the not winning at the very end is probably just RNG related. And I think you're getting deep enough times that your success is not RNG related. So, if that makes sense. While we're here, while we're waiting, let me go ahead and save this. And we'll save the quick start as well. And we'll put using OOTP27 create a roster rules and 26 champion Nerd of Anarchy's roster file in OOTP27. Okay, so that's the quick start. That way, if anything happens or we want to rerun this, we have the roster, and it's at the beginning. It's even preseason before anything's been done. So we always have this kind of frozen in amber. Well, best of 3 is also going to be much more susceptible to RNG as well because it's such a smaller sample size. So I think you're doing well enough that that's beyond good luck, and you're just getting unlucky at the end. Like, making it to the final in 5 of 8 tournaments is pretty impressive. Regardless of the format. Now, it's more impressive if it's something other than a quick, but it's still, even to do that well in quicks, I think is pretty good. All right, so once the predictions come in, we will go ahead and see what the AI thinks. And then we can start the season. We can go ahead and advance to opening day. That's when the preseason predictions become available. You'll see here generating MLB season predictions. All right, now it advances to the 18th because that's when the Tokyo series begins, but most of the teams won't start until the 27th. Our prediction's almost done, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that in a second. Someone very smartly has bet one channel point in one of the categories. That's my favorite channel point wager move. To just take over a category with 1 point. It's actually a pretty good guess too. It was going to be my other guess if I were going to guess twice. That's the other one I would have guessed. PT Inertia, thank you for the follow. Wait, is this a Inertia Banco Perfect Team alt account? Is that what PT Inertia is? Okay, I think the predictions are closed now, so we can go ahead and take a look at the preseason predictions from the AI. So we move to opening day. The preseason predictions become available on opening day. We go to MLB reports and info, and then preseason predictions. All right, we get to the NL. The Brewers, 110 games. Okay, this is good in that I didn't want to have too many wins, right? Because then I have to play with the level distributions even further. If we do come in at 110, I think what that would let me do is restore one of the good or average level picks, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I think I have a slide that shows this. Here we go. Okay. So in OOTP27, you got 4 legend, 5 star, 5 good, 5 average, 5 bench, and 2 scrub. In OOTP26, the scrubs and bench level players got 2 good. So we experimented with these different distributions, and we landed on this one, which is 4 legend and star, 3 good and average, and 6 bench and scrub. And it kept the win totals where I wanted them, right? In the 130s. The champion, Nerd of Anarchy, finished with 138. Kynan 360 and Delhi Sports tied for second with 134. Right? That's a range where you can still conceivably keep improving if you can come up with better ideas or happen to get lucky. If you're already in the 140s, it's hard to get any better, right? Oh, they were juiced a lot. I'll show you some data later that'll show you how they were juiced. I mean, I'm telling you, they went from baseball scrubs to major league scrubs, right? So high school, college, minor league scrubs to major league scrubs. That's a pretty big difference. What I like to do is restore at least good, maybe good and average to 4 each. So maybe this weekend we'll test 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. And if that can stay under 120, I would be very happy to run that. I tried to keep the legend sacred at 4 because those are the fun players to create. So I didn't want to cut into the legend. I'd like to restore because the good and average, the turn in the middle at good and average has been so tight. I think it's also made it harder for people to be creative with the different approaches they try out. So if we can go all 4s and then 5s at bench and scrub, I'll be very happy. But let's see how tonight goes. The other problem is it's hard to get a lot of data points, right? Because you see how much time it takes to generate a roster this way. And it's the player creation RNG that we have to account for. I could run this as a 5 times long season, but that doesn't help as much as like doing 5 separate player creations. But as far as let's first look at the team win totals. Okay, it has us winning having the most wins in the National League, winning the NL Central with 110. 351 home runs. The stolen bases are low, partly because we ran sabermetric, partly because I was not drafting for speed. The pitching is not great, 4.29 ERA, but again, this goes back to Nerder of Anarchy's philosophy of just outscoring the opponents and not necessarily outpitching them. But it's still a reasonably good ERA. 4.29 is middle of the pack here in the American League. And then what you really need is you need the batters to come through for you, right? So we've got the 1, 2, and 3 batters in the league, all predicted to finish ahead of Ohtani, and then the 5th batter in League 2. So you got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. Oh, sorry. So we've got, yeah, sorry about that. We've got 5 in the top 10, which is really good. And you've got 3 batters ahead of Ohtani, which is incredibly good. On the pitching side, again, partly a lot of this is the approach we're taking here, which is batting first. But we still managed to get the number 6 and number 9 pitchers in the league projected. And Campbell, this is the home run suppression control guy with 35 stuff. Campbell projected to be the number 9 pitcher in the league. So we'll see if that plays out. That would be really nice. All right. Let's go to opening day. Actually, we usually watch the team, but let's just sim it. We'll have a few games in March, not a lot because of the nature of the Tokyo series. Oh my goodness, we started 0-3. We're 1-3 to start the season. What the heck? Wow. What is going on here? Nerd plans to win 160 games, score 1 billion runs while giving up 1 million. You know what? The way baseball works, though, in one of those games, you'll score 100 and give up 101, and you'll lose a game. All right, so what happened in March? We lost to the Yankees 1-5, 1-2, 0-1, and we won. So we lost 2 one-run games. Yeah, we gave up a... Oh, look at this. Four hitters on both sides. We gave up a run in the bottom of the 8th. So we were in all those games. We just got a little unlucky. All right, 11-4. That's more like it. 8-game win streak. 14-game run streak by Perfeito. We got Batter of the Month award. We'll take a look at that. We had a Player of the Weekend. We had an 11-game team winning streak. So let's take a look at that. Batter of the Month award. Radcliffe hit 316 with 11 home runs, 25 RBI, and 30 runs scored on the month. Now, since you already got a Batter of the Month... Oh, this isn't at the end of the month yet. We got interrupted by our owner. All right, so let's take a look at that Batter of the Month. See if we got another one. It was Mario Villanueva won Batter of the Month this time. 374 with 14 home runs, 38 RBIs, and 31 runs scored. This is our left fielder with the 65 contact, 60-60 avoid K BABIP combo, 80 power, 80 eye. Oh, did he have a four? Hold on. Well, yeah, he's on the leaderboards here. Let's see. Yeah, 436 on base finish, 1095 OPS. No, there are drops. Yeah, OTP27 drops. They've been going since last Friday. No pack giveaways until Monday, though. You have to reconnect your account though to Twitch for 27 drops. Even if you're getting 20 OTP 26 drops, to get the OTP 27 drops, you need to So if you go to your drops inventory and find the OTP 27 drops, you need to use the connect button to reconnect your Twitch account to your OTP 27 account. All right, so we are June 1st, so we have another month and a half till the All-Star break. All right, let's see if we won any more. We're definitely not winning pitcher of the month because that would be we get a notification for that because we haven't won it yet. Okay, this is our third different batter to win batter of the month. Mike Stanley hit 398 with 9 home runs. Man, he almost hit 400. 27 RBI, 25 runs scored. What was his profile? Oh, this is the first baseman that we used our reroll for. He had the terrible avoid K, but it's not hurting him too bad. He is striking out a ton, but he's also walking a ton. 644 slug to go with a 473 on base for the 1118 OPS. Yeah, batter of the month by committee. We're gonna try to win 7 batters of the month with 7 different batters. All right, so we're at a 682 win percentage. .682 would bring us in right at 110. Well, there's also not enough months, right? Because you get April, May, June, July, August, September. So, sorry, I said 7. You'd only have 6 chances to win it. All right, so let's head to the All-Star break. Yeah, the DH doesn't have to win one. That's right. Our scrub level DH doesn't have to win one. All right, Mario Villanueva is the highest All-Star vote getter in the majors. Nice. He's third in batting average, second in tied for first in home runs, and leading in RBI. So he's in Triple Crown position. He already has a full season's worth of stats. 32 home runs, 105 RBI, 332 average. And we're at the All-Star break. Okay, we need to send one more game to get the All-Star break itself. And let's see what the All-Star voting look like. Yeah, 10 more season, especially for a batter. Definitely a huge season. Okay, voting. No votes. No one in the top 3 at catcher. Mike Stanley leading at first base with almost 5 million votes. Perfedo second in voting at second base. Morelos leading at third base. He is hitting 327 with 21 bombs. Corey Fletcher second in voting at shortstop. See, my preference is to go for these batters that are like the Triple Crown candidate, right? The 300 batting average with, 30, 40 home runs. They're going to generate lots of runs. Villanueva leading all the majors in votes, which is saying something because Shohei's in here. But Shohei's only got 4 million votes. Oh, Shohei's having a terrible year. He's hitting 238 with 24 bombs. I'm used to him in OOTP27, where in 2024, he was regularly a 50-80 guy. Radcliffe, 307, 32 home runs. This is going to be a recurring theme. 300 average and then 20, 30 home runs. 369 average, 17 home runs for Mendoza. So the AI is still not good at voting for pitchers. Because you can't tell me Salcido with an 11-2 record and a 2.90 ERA should not be getting votes. All right, Chris Sale, 11-6 with a 3.54. Logan Webb, 6-5 with a 4.74. Paul Skeens, 6-7 with a 3. And I have popularity turned off as a factor in All-Star voting. Now Dylan Cease could probably be ahead of our guy. 3-8 with a 5.11. This guy is 5th in All-Star voting. I'm going to screenshot this for the developers. Right, he's 3-8 with a 5.11. And he's ahead of our 9-3 guy with a 3.16, 11-2 with a 2.90. Oh, can you turn off the stat delay? I didn't know you can turn it off. Is that under OTP preferences? Okay, I'm going to turn that off at the next time between today's stream and tonight's stream. I'll turn that off. Oh, it's not one that needs to be rebooted for it? Okay, that's good. Players, secondary, no delay. Team pop-up display. No delay. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, that is super annoying. I'm glad we can turn that off. Yeah, so at least 2 guys who should be well ahead of someone who's 3-8 with a 5 ERA. That guy is 5th in All-Star voting. All right, let's see who's actually selected for the team. That's usually what we go by for our pack giveaways, which again will resume on Monday. Okay. At least they did take Salcido. But that means Houston is 7-3 with a. Oh, so sorry. It's Cody. No. Campbell's the one. 9-3 with a 3.16. 3.1 WAR. He definitely got screwed. Most of your use screen is organization and looking at prospect performance. Oh, yeah, I can't even imagine. That would have been super annoying. Okay, so Salcido. Stanley at first was voted in. Perfido at second was selected. Morelos at third was voted in. Fletcher at short was selected. Villanueva in left was voted in. Radcliffe in center was voted in. Mendoza in right was voted in. So we had 8 All-Stars. Oh, you know what? I should start a new leaderboard for the game too. I always put my first test run in here, just to show people kind of what's been done. I don't color code my runs because I'm not eligible to win the leaderboard. I just facilitate everyone else playing and have fun doing that. Kind of like the way Dr. Dynastic doesn't have a player in the Red Rock League, right? Like, so we had 8 All-Stars. Go ahead and enter that in. All right. And then let's go to the Home Run Challenge. Do we have anyone in the Home Run Challenge? We do. We've got Radcliffe and Villanueva are both in it. They each have 32 home runs at the break. And Villanueva and Radcliffe both advance. Nice. And they both lose. Kurtz beats Villanueva and Buxton beats Radcliffe. And Nick Kurtz takes it all. 18-15 in the final. Wow. What's his home run rating this year? An 80. I mean, that makes sense. For 41 home runs and only 347 at-bats, he's probably pretty splitty, though, right? He's not even that splitty. His power rating's actually reverse split, 85-80. That's impressive. Who was in the final with him? Byron Buxton. Buxton's a 75 power. That's a little surprising. I mean, he did have 30 home runs and only 362 plate appearances or at bats, but yeah, I guess it makes sense. He's 5 below Kurtz. And they both have enough at bats that the game's not going to nerf them for small sample size, so they're just going to benefit from having a high home run rate in a shorter season. Which I can't begrudge them for that. That's fine. All right, let's go to the All-Star game itself. We'll just quick play this. Mario Villanueva wins the MVP. Nice. The NL wins 10-4. 4 runs in the third, 5 in the seventh. Fletcher went 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Radcliffe went 0 for 4 with a run and a walk. Villanueva went 1 for 2 with a run and 3 RBI on a home run. Mendoza went 1 for 2. Morelos went 0 for 3. Stanley went 0 for 2. Perfetto went 1 for 3 with a run scored. And that's it for the batters. On the pitching side, looks like none of our pitchers got in the game. All right. So let's go back to the standings and let's finish up the month of July. Got the top 3 batting average hitters, the top 2 home run hitters, and the top 3 RBI hitters in the league. 73 and 36, which is a 670 win percentage, which is a 108.5 win pace. Sorry for coughing in your ears, everybody. I was a little slow on the mute button there. All right, let's run the month of August. Oh, someone got us to 990 followers. Awesome. Let's see who that was. Oh, that must have been PT Inertia who followed 23 minutes ago. Cool. 10 more and we're at 1,000. That's crazy. I remember being amazed when I got to 100 followers. I was like, wow. I mean, part of it is just doing this for a while, right? This is now year 2. And new players come in and that helps a lot. But I appreciate all of you following. All right, so we have the top 3 batting average leaders, the top 2 home run hitters, the top 3 RBI hitters, top 3 OPS, top 3 wins above replacement for batters. On the pitching side, by design, right? This is by design. Nerd of Anarchy's approach. We only have one pitcher on the leaderboards here. We do have Adam Campbell in R War, number 3 in R War. All right, let's go do the month of September. This should lead us to the end of the season on the 28th. Okay, so we're going to sim to the 28th. You remember when I was at 841 for what seemed like forever? Yeah, I only noticed it when we hit a milestone, so 23 game save streak by Crosby comes to an end. And we're at 105 and 56. This is perfect because I think we can test now. I think we can test giving back a good and an average level player, going all 4s and then 5 bench and 5 scrub. I really didn't like how tight the good and average rounds were. So I think being able to go back to that would be really nice. Can someone sell you a Daniel Palencia so you can finish live level 1? All right, chat. Anyone who's got a live Daniel Palencia to sell, Super Mudman's looking for one. All right, we have one more game to finish the season. It is a win. We finish at 106. Villanueva does not win the Triple Crown, beat by his own teammate by 7 batting average points for the batting title. At least he got beat by someone with a higher contact rating, 70 contact versus 65 contact. Mendoza had the 75 avoid K, 60 BABIP, and Villanueva had the 60-60 combination. But Villanueva had those extra home runs, which are additional hits that help boost that batting average, right? That's that double dipping I talked about when we looked at why power is so important when we did the batting attribute testing. Right? You're seeing that here with Mario Villanueva. I know, right? If your teammate beats you for the Triple Crown in the last game of the year, that would not go over well at all. We have the top 3 OPS hitters, the top 3 WAR hitters. Mendoza does get to 10 WAR. As a right fielder, that's tough to do as a right fielder too. Right, Perfedo gets a boost playing second base. Villanueva has a good showing as a left fielder with 8.4. Now, part of the RBI totals is they're vulturing each other's RBI opportunities, right? But this also goes to show how crazy Hack Wilson's 191 RBI record is. It rarely gets beaten, even with all these legend-level players we create. Like, it rarely gets beaten. I think Nerd of Anarchy might have beaten it at least once or twice in OOTP27. But 191 RBI in a 154-game season is crazy. All right, let's go to the postseason. See how that goes. Now the wild card will just speed sim that. Oh, let's save this too in case we have a problem. Cubs sweep the Padres. They'll face our creator roster team. The Mets are always going to Met. They get swept by the Phillies, so we're going to face the Dodgers. White Sox swept the Blue Jays. They'll face the Astros. And the Rays swept the Red Sox. They'll face the Yankees. We are going to go to a 4-man rotation. I almost forgot to do that. So Houston at 14-5 is going to go to the bullpen. Campbell did not disappoint. Even, he had that funky shape with only 35 stuff. But he had the high home run suppression. And he had the God control. And he had a 3.79 ERA. Good enough to go 16-7 on this team. Second best ERA on the team after Salcido. So 4-man rotation. We have the AI for a new bullpen. We're going to see where Houston goes. Houston is now the setup guy, with Kevin James moving back to middle relief used more often. All right, so with that, we're ready to host the Cubs. Dodgers, Phillies. Dodgers win 9-2. And the Brewers win 15-5. So the creator roster team has a big offensive showing. Home runs by Villanueva, Radcliffe, Perfedo, Mendoza, and Valdivius. Is this the DH? No, he's playing third. Wait, why is he playing third today? Valdivius. Oh, he is a DH. Yeah, okay. All right. Scrub level DH coming through with the home run. He came through. He came through big time. All right. Let's go to day 2. First of all, watch the AL. Yeah, he was projected to have 17. He finished with 25, so pretty good showing. For a scrub, that's really good. Astros beat the White Sox 5-2. And the Rays beat the Yankees 5-2. In game 2, the Dodgers take a 2-0 series lead over Philadelphia. And the creator roster team wins an extra inning game, walking it off in the bottom of the 10th. There were no home runs, so who walked that off? Perfedo flew out. Mendoza flew out. Radcliffe walked. And then a run-scoring double by Villanueva. All this with 2 outs. A walk, a 4-pitch walk, and a double to win the game in the bottom of the 10th. And who gave up the run? Daniel Palencia. Are you sure you still want that card? Palencia gives up the run. Got 2 outs, too. That's rough. So another command. You don't want to. That's true. You just want to finish the mission. That's right. All right. NL on a travel day. White Sox tie up the series 1 apiece. And the Rays win 12-7. They scored 9 runs in the final 2 innings. And they needed it too because the Yankees scored 4 in the bottom of the 9th, but not enough to catch back up. So the Rays take a 2-0 series lead. All right, NL DS Game 3s. Phillies win 5-1, so they cut the series lead to 2-1. And the creator roster team looking for a sweep. Nope, they lose 10-3. Campbell gets rocked. 10.38 postseason ERA. All right, game 3s in the AL. Astros win 6-1. They take a 2-1 series lead. And the Yankees shut out the Rays to cut the lead to 2-1. Let's see. Philadelphia wins 3-2. They tied the series up, so the Dodgers now facing potential elimination. The Kratos team wins 1-0, a pitcher's duel, 9 hits total. And despite making the only error in the game, we managed to pull out the win. How did our starter do in this one? Santiago, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 walks. He's looking for the live mission card, I think, Nerd of Anarchy. He's trying to finish the live mission. Wow, that card's going for that live card's going for 1,000. Wow. Yeah, so Santiago gets the win. Viegas and Crosby, nicely done out of the bullpen. All right, so part one of the postseason accomplished. ALDSs. Houston looking to close out the White Sox. And they do it, winning 7-4. Tampa Bay looking to close out the Yankees. But the Yankees force a game 5. The NL game 5, now after the travel day in LA. The pesky Dodgers, even in OOTP27, they still sim pretty well, apparently. They win 9-2. We will face them in the NLCS, but we will get a little additional rest as the ALDS is going to game 5. The Yankees come back to win 7-1, so their postseason will continue. All right, NLCS time. We've got Cody Wright, the left-hander, on the mound. 18-9 win. The offense comes through again. This really is, Nerd of Anarchy really is leaning on the offense here. 18-9 postseason win. All right. The ALCS will begin now. Yankees win 6-4. We've got Salcido versus Kershaw in game 2. Oh, we lose 9-5. Radcliffe in a losing effort as player of the game. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. Oh, no, sorry, with a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. 3 walks to go with a 2 for 2. So 5 on base 5 times out of 5 plate appearances. All right, we've got game 2 for the ALCS. Astros win in extra innings 5-2. AL on a travel day. NL resuming game 3. Oh no, we lose 2-1. We lost another Adam Campbell start. All right, AL resumes as well. Yankees win 3-0 with all 3 runs scored in the 10th inning, top of the 10th. They take a 2-1 series lead. Oh man, we have just fallen behind 3-1, losing 8-7 in the bottom of the 11th on a walk-off. In 15 innings, the Astros walk it off to win 2-1, tying that series up at 2 apiece. And we win 10-5. We have to have these high-scoring games to win, apparently. Cutting the series lead to 3-2. But every game is an elimination game for us. Yeah, he is the finesse pitcher. He got rocked in game 1, pitched better in game 2. Yankees win 2-0. They take a 3-2 series lead. We've got Salcido on the mound. He's probably our best chance. We're down 2-3. We do win, forcing a game 7. Clutch in the elimination games. Of course, we'd rather not face the elimination games. Yankees win 7-5, so they advance to the World Series. Campbell, this is our finesse guy, 35. I think he had 60 HRA, 80 control. He had a good season, 5 WAR, 124 ERA plus. Kept the ball in the park, but did give up almost a hit per inning. So he was hittable. And we win, making it to the World Series. Clutch. Campbell is player of the game. Goes 7 innings of 1-run ball. 3 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He heard me talking smack about him, so he said, hold my beer. And it takes us to the World Series. Santos Santiago against Max Fried in Game 1. It is an 11-inning win, 10-9. Was it a reverse sweep? I know we were down 1-3. Were we down 0-3? No, we won game one, and then we lost three in a row. And then we won three in a row. Oh, it felt like a reverse sweep, though. That's for sure. All right, we take game one, breaking the hearts of Yankee fans everywhere with a walk-off in the bottom of the 11th. Just the way we like it. We lose 11-7 in another shootout, tying the series up at 1-1 Gentleman's reverse sweep. Now we're just combining sayings. All right, Salcido on the mound again. We like that. Oh, it's an 8-6 loss. We're down 1-2 to the Yankees. Campbell back on the mound. 7-4. The finesse pitcher gets a win, postseason win. Series tied at 2 apiece. We win 8-3 in Game 5, taking a 3-2 series lead. Valdivius, the scrub DH, goes 2 for 4 with 2 bombs. Scrub DH time. Wow. Let's see. This series, Valdivius is hitting 200, but has 3 home runs. He has 4 hits. 3 of them are bombs. All right, we're up 3-2. Elimination game after the travel day. We've got Cody Wright on the mound, the lefty, versus Max Fried. Fried's also a lefty, right? Yeah, lefty versus lefty here. It is a win. We take down the Yankees 10-2. Mendoza goes 2 for 3 with the bomb. Let's see how Valdivius did. He went 1 for 4 with an RBI. He might be in the running for World Series MVP. Let's see. Mel Mendoza takes it. Mel Mendoza hit 360 with 2 bombs. Radcliffe had 10 RBI. Valdivius had 7 RBI with only 5 hits. Hit 208 with 7 RBI. And come on, if you scale it for scrub level versus legends, Valdivius all day. All right, the Cradle Roster team takes it, winning 4-2. Let's go ahead and save this. We'll do our postseason awards just like it's... oh, yeah, because I need to do it for the leaderboard. So let's go ahead and run these postseason awards. What is our game score? It should pop up here. 1234.
Why do you keep following me around?
B Phil B. Thank you for the follow. Apologize if I got the name wrong. Better than Max, not a number, just better than Max. You get a red highlight if your game score is lower than Max's. Max LP80 famously gets lower game scores than anyone with the same number of wins for some reason. The game engine dislikes Max. Alright. Great Glove Awards. Mendoza in right field. So not only did he bring it with the bat, but Mendoza wins a Great Glove in right field. 339, 29 home runs, 100 RBI, and a Great Glove in right field. That sounds Roberto Clemente-ish to me. Pretty great season there out of Mel Mendoza. All right, next up is should be relief pitcher of the year. Yeah. Do we have a candidate here? I mean, we had a star level relief pitcher. 2 and 5, 35 saves, 2.18 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, 3.2 WAR. I mean, going by OOTP27 standards, the ERA is a touch high. He'll probably get votes, but he wouldn't win in OOTP26, but we'll see. No achievements, so I don't think he won, but let's see if he got any votes. Yeah, he came in second. Suarez swept the first place votes, though, so Crosby had a good showing. This is what I'm talking about here. Suarez went 2-2 with 44 saves and a 1.54 ERA. That's kind of what it takes to win relief pitcher of the year. But we did come in second, which is pretty good. Platinum Stick Awards. 7. And of course, this has to do with Nerd of Anarchy's approach, which is to go offense first. So Goodman wanted a catcher. We have Stanley at first, Perfido at second, Morelos at third, Fletcher at short, who hit 35 bombs, Villanueva in left, Radcliffe in center, and Mendoza in right. Shohei still wins it at DH. How many steals did Shohei have? Only 15, down from 59. He stole 80 regularly in OTB26. So 269. What were his real life stats in 25? 282, 55 bombs, 20 steals. So his batting average was down, his home runs were down, RBIs were down, but still a pretty monster season. Did he pitch? No, so that's good. They don't have him pitching yet in 2025, which is well, he did pitch in real life though in 25, right? Yeah. Did they not give him pitching ratings in 25? Now, granted, he didn't pitch till late in the year. Oh, he does have some pitching ratings, but did they not pitch him? Yeah, they didn't pitch him at all. That's an interesting choice. The AI chose not to pitch him. All right, so let's see. Rookie of the Year, we don't have anyone eligible because of the way we choose the player ages when we generate our players. Cy Young Award. Salcido's probably our best bet. 19-2, 3.50 ERA, 4.4 WAR. The WAR's a little low. The ERA's a little high. Campbell had the best WAR with a 5.1. His ERA is even higher. So we'll get votes. We'll probably be in the 6 to 7, 6, 7, 8 range. But we're not going to be threatening for the Cy Young, I don't think. So Yamamoto wins it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. Am I good or what? I said what? 6, 7, 8th place? We came in 6th place. Not bad. Not bad at guessing there. Pretty good guess. All right, MVP. Yeah, there's Valdivius, our scrub level DH with 25 bombs. Hit 200. He did hit 201. He struck out more than his batting average, though. Never good when you strike out more than your batting average. He struck out 207. He batted 201. But let's see. Our best bet for MVP is probably... Well, let's sort by OPS. Villanueva, 55 bombs, 332 average. Right. Well, let's see what happens. We'll probably have a handful of players in the voting, but I don't think we're going to win it. Villanueva, though, outside chance. Outside chance. Oh, he does win it. I stand corrected. He swept. Okay. Not only did he sweep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top 7. I did say we'd have a bunch of players spread out throughout. I didn't realize we'd be at the very top. 7. The top 7 vote getters are all from our creator roster team. Unbelievable. All right, that's a pretty good achievement right there. All right. So let's do the channel point awards. And is the Nolan Network on? It was supposed to be on tonight. But let's do the channel point. What? How many games did we finish with? 105. So whoever wagered on 100 to 109 is going to be our winner. So you got my alts channel points. Whoever it was, congratulations. How do I see who won? Can I not see who won? It's not showing me who won. Oh, Super Mudman won the channel points. Congratulations. All right, that's going to wrap it. I'll be back on again around 10 p.m. Pacific time tonight. Oh, okay, good. The Nolan Network is on, so we're going to raid into Nolan. He does also multi-season base game sims, too. Wait, but Nerveki, you didn't have the players. Did you recreate the players in your save and then run it? You ran the sim before me, but I know, it's amazing. He's unbelievable. So Nolan, if all goes to plan, he will be raiding into Ezra Denny. And Ezra Denny will very kindly raid back into me at 10 p.m. Pacific time. So hopefully we'll see you back again. And we'll do a pitching attributes experiment in OOTP27.